Good morning, this is Mission Control Houston. Thank you for joining us for today's ISS update this Monday, September 26th. We are coming to you now live inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room of the Christopher C. Craft Mission Control Center, where the team here is monitoring the systems aboard the station and supporting the day's activities of the Expedition 29 crew members. Flight Director Scott Stover is leading the team here in the Station Flight Control Room, with seen here in the blue shirt on the right-hand side of your screen with Josh Matthew there next to him, who is serving as Capcom, relaying all ground messages up to the crew. Aboard the orbiting complex, Station Commander Mike Fossum and Flight Engineer Satoshi Furukawa and Sergei Volkov are kicking off their second week aboard the orbiting complex as the Expedition 29 crew. Commander Fossum, Volkov, and Furukawa launched to the orbiting complex aboard their Soyuz spacecraft as the Expedition 28 crew this summer on June 7 and docked to the Rossviet module of the space station 2 days after their launch on June 9th. Today they will complete their 110th consecutive day in space with about 2 months left before they return to Earth on November 22nd. Meanwhile, astronaut Dan Burbank and cosmonauts Anton Shkaplerov and Anatoly Ivanishin are scheduled to join the crew of 3 there on the space station after their launch on November 14 to make up the full crew and complete the mission of Expedition 29. The space station with its 3 crew members on board are now flying at an altitude of about 238 statute miles and has just made its way across the South Atlantic Ocean, passing just under the tip of South Africa and Madagascar, now taking a northeastern track over the Indian Ocean and eventually across West Australia. On orbit, the expedition crew members continue to conduct research that takes advantage of their microgravity environment to learn more about the human body, biology, physics, and materials. The crew also continues the maintenance and upkeep of their home away from home. After the crews wake up at 1 a.m. Central Time today, the expedition crew participated in the first of 2 daily planning conferences with ground controllers at mission control centers around the world to review the day's activities and plan for the next set of tasks. The crew will participate in another daily planning conference just before entering its pre-sleep period a couple hours after today's ISS update hour. The crew is then scheduled to go to bed at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. During today's ISS update hour, Commander Mike Fossum will perform a camera checkout of an ongoing binary colloidal alloy experiment that looks at crystal growth suspended in liquid for improvements in manufacturing products. He also will continue this morning's stowage relocation from the Human Research Facility. Flight engineer Satoshi Furukawa will be participating in an hour-long workout on the station's stationary bicycle. Meanwhile, flight engineer Sergei Volkov will take oceanic photos and video as the station makes a pass across the southeastern Pacific as part of an ocean observation study. He also will then replace a gas analyzer carbon dioxide filter unit and perform routine daily servicing of the onboard Russian life support systems. After this morning's regular station inspection, breakfast, and the daily planning conference, Commander Fossum had begun some prep work to relocate stowage in the Human Research Facility. He also participated in a human body research experiment that involved taking a reading of his VO2 max that measures aerobic capacity. Volkov had cleaned the screen of an air heater fan in the crew's docked Soyuz vehicle, performed some preventative maintenance to the service module ventilation system, and also swapped out a dust filter cartridge, while Volkov tended to the Russian plants experiment that observes the growth of wheat in space. Furukawa maintained a Japanese experiment known as Marangoni that studies flow patterns of how fluids move and how heat is transferred in microgravity. He also set up the Legos Bricks educational study that involved a series of toy Lego kits that are assembled on orbit and used to demonstrate scientific concepts to students. Furukawa also began a scrub of the onboard U.S. spacesuit's cooling loops. Later today, Commander Fossum will close out the VO2 max operations he had performed earlier this morning. He will also complete his daily 2-hour workout with the strength training using the Advanced Resistive Exercise device. Fossum will swap out a battery of the binary colloidal alloy experiment before the evening work prep, dinner, and sleep. Meanwhile, Sergei Volkov will provide an update on the station's inventory management system, exercise, and also refill the water tank of the Russian plant's experiment. And Satoshi Furukawa will terminate the extravehicular mobile unit cooling loop scrub that he had activated today as maintenance on the onboard U.S. spacesuits. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the second half of the Expedition 29 crew, astronauts Dan Burbank, Anton Shkaplerov, and Anatoly Ivanishin, who are scheduled to launch from Baikonur in Kazakhstan in less than 2 months on November 14, have begun their final flow of preparations to join crewmates there aboard the International Space Station. This is Mission Control Houston.